like we're right going into it, and we definitely were flat in that game. In this game, we were alive, and instead of just focusing on misses or whether shot was going in or not, we just doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on trying to have a massive collective defensive effort every single possession and see what that could generate for us. And that carried out, for the majority of the game, and we were able to get some easy ones, off of, some turnovers, stops, long rebounds. There were a bunch of inspiring defensive plays that led to, easy buckets going the other way, and you see the ball go in an easy fashion, and that can change things. But in order to see the ball go in sometimes in an easy way, you have to do a bunch of very difficult things defensively, and we were committed, to that.
I know you don't care much about the scoring margin, but just how necessary, how needed was it just to have one of these, just an easy one, everybody gets in, everybody's feeling good, there's no frustration in the room afterwards, just how vital is that right now?
I wish we had the play-in rules, right now, or this would count like more for something, I guess. But no, not the play-in. Yeah, the in-season tournament. I always get that confused. More than anything, than the score, it's just, seeing a collective response. The one thing about our group is this group really cares. And even after a night like the other night where it looks like it's, you can define it in a bunch of different ways when it's a really lopsided loss, and you could erroneously say that's a listless team. It's not. This is a team that cares deeply, and there's so many of the guys that have a personality. Probably, throw me in there too. We beat ourselves up, after poor performances, and we just can't wait to get back out there again to try to make amends for it. And that's the thing I really admire about this group. The group cares, and even through some of the tough times, there can be some benefits, from that.
You guys were really balanced, 50 paint points, 15 made threes, the points at the foul line. What did you like about the mix tonight, maybe compared to a few nights ago where...
Yeah, I like the defensive efforts. I think sometimes we talk too much about, the offense, whether it's balls going in, whether it's right shot profile, whether it's this or that. Sometimes you can control a game with your efforts, your toughness, and committing to doing all those tough things. And I don't even know what our offensive profile was tonight. I just like the efforts. I like the energy. I like the enthusiasm.
Speaking of that defense, Haywood had 18 points, but it seemed like the defense kind of stood out more than that. And I just want to ask you specifically about the press in the zone with him and DeLon, just kind of how, they were kind of shooting around 15, 16 seconds with the shot clock. Like, just how important have they been at the top of that?
Yeah, we know that H has built up some really good habits in our zone. DeLon has picked that up really quickly. He should have played at Syracuse rather than Utah. He's tailor-made. He's built, for this, even though he had a spectacular career at Utah. Then there was some stretches in there where we had. I don't think it would have mattered whether we were in, our zone or the man. There was a lot of activity with that group. It was DeLon. It was H, Caleb. They were able to just fly around and make a lot of instinctive plays. Some of it, is, how you want it to go by design, but the zone is really more read and react, and you have to be a playmaker, and you have to have instincts for it too. And those two guys, have instincts, there. And there were times too where they were able to shapeshift, and different guys were at the top and different guys were at the wing, which is kind of a luxury we haven't had in previous years.
We saw all the reasons why the Garland-Allen combination is deadly the other night, the pull-up shooting and the rolls. Then you get Bam back tonight, and he seemed to kind of shut all of that down. What was Bam doing against their best offensive combination right now?
It's born out of respect. The first Terry, has deep respect for what Garland can do. off the dribble, trying to corral him, just get him into the pick and roll. Terry has really worked on this point of attack defense for us because he's smart. He's understood how important that is to our defense, and he's really been competing there. It starts with that. Bam can't erase everything if you're not competing on the ball. And then Bam understands, also how deadly Garland can be when he can get to his sweet spots, but also if Allen can get behind the defense. So it takes kind of that collaboration. And then also your weak side guys being actively involved. So it all works together. It tends to look a lot better, when Bam's in there, and that's obviously a big nod to his abilities. He can play in any scheme and make it look, better.
Hey, Coach, can you share some thoughts about Bam still being so young and becoming tonight third place on most Heat double-doubles with 186 today?
Gosh, there's so many things that he's going to keep on passing all of these franchise records, and I think that is something to note, that he is still a very young player, but his experience is so vast now. He's got more playoff experience than almost anybody in the league at his age, and that really matters. To us, but also in the history of this game. You get a bunch of playoff experience with real competitors. You learn how to really impact winning. What moves the needle with winning, and Bam really cares about it. But the fact that he's been able to climb the charts in terms of the rebounding and the double-doubles, and still be able to also generate so many assists for us, that's incredibly unique for a player of his